Management of the Dune Lakes falls mostly under the responsibility of regional government, and the Northland Regional Council keeps a list of regionally outstanding water bodies, which include 12 outstanding dune lakes that receive special attention. Council staff undertake regular water quality monitoring of 27 high-priority dune lakes, along with annual surveillance for invasive weeds and more in-depth monitoring of the ecological status of over 70 of the most significant lakes. This water quality monitoring is undertaken at least once every 3 months to calculate a trophic level index, which is a measurement of lake health calculated from a combination of water clarity, nutrient levels, and the amount of algae in the water. Measurement of dissolved oxygen levels are also taken regularly in the lakes, as this is another important indicator of lake health and the assessment of trophic levels. A trophic level of less than 2 indicates a lake of near pristine quality, and a level greater than 5 is an indication of a seriously degraded lake. Northland's dune lakes currently span the whole range. Northland Regional Council staff also work alongside landowners and community groups to implement lake management plans for priority lakes. This includes providing some funding for fencing off dune lakes and their feeder streams and associated wetlands to prevent damage by wandering stock. Eradication of aquatic pest weeds is also being undertaken in several lakes. Landowners and community or landcare groups play a significant role in restoring and looking after lakes in Northland, and their work includes helping to fence and replant lake and wetland margins, maintaining tracks, lake monitoring, weed and animal pest control, and also acting as community advocates.
This is Lake Gem, a dune lake on the Aupuri Peninsula. The Bushland Trust has been restoring this lake for the last 4 years. The lake is actually on private land, local forestry company, Summit. We fenced the lake off with regional council funding, and through forestry they added into part of the funding 4 years ago. And from that point on, we've held Arbor Day plantings here. We've had involvement of all the local schools.
In fact, some of the best advocates of all have proved to be children, and they have proved to be wonderful ambassadors for dune lakes, sharing their knowledge and experience with parents and friends, who are often also landowners or stakeholders themselves. Children usually take to the water with enthusiasm and are fascinated by the plants and animals that live in and around the lakes. World Wetlands Day at Lake Ngātu and the public snorkeling days at Kaiwi Lakes have proved so popular with the children that these events are now annual events that grow exponentially year by year. Events like these reinforce the importance of dune lakes culturally, recreationally and ecologically, and reflect the value local communities place on their surrounding environment.
It's an algae that grows in fresh water, and they form meadows along the bottom, just like a nice grassy meadow. And these are all native plants called the coriaceans.
Farmers and landowners can play the biggest role in preserving our dune lakes by fencing waterways, including streams and wetlands, as well as small lakes to protect them from stock. People often don't realise the amount of damage cattle actually do to waterways. Just one dairy cow puts out as much nitrate or nutrient loading as 15 humans, and this does not get properly filtered out in the sandy soils found around our dune lakes. One of the single biggest things we can all do, though, is prevent the spread of pests between lakes. Always check, clean and dry boats, trailers and recreational gear before leaving any waterway so that you don't introduce pests into the next lake you visit. How? By taking the few minutes required to give all gear a good visual check and pick off any weed fragments, then properly cleaning gear with soapy water. It is important to also allow gear to dry completely for at least 48 hours before using it in another lake or waterway. Probably the biggest thing to keep in mind, though, is that lakes are an enclosed system, like an aquarium. Most of what you put into them stays there. If you have an aquarium in your lounge at home, you wouldn't dream of tipping dirt or toilet waste into it, or squirting soap into the water, or dropping in a piranha to eat your prized fish. So just think of our dune lakes as large, beautiful aquariums. These dune lakes are Northland's hidden gems, and are truly natural wonders of the world that we should all be proud of. Precious, unique, and worth looking after for generations to come.